shape. And there are some areas of drought concern in Nebraska and South Dakota, 2 states that will be part of next week's Pro Farmer Crop Tour. It all kicks off on Monday. Scouts will survey corn and soybean fields in those 2 states, along with Illinois, Indiana, Iowa, Minnesota, and Ohio. Then each night, crews in the East and the West will meet to talk about what they found. As tour leads Brian Grady of Pro Farmer and Chip Flory of AgriTalk discuss sample yield estimates for each state. And we'll bring you those numbers each night as part of Crop Tour Live on Farm Journal's social media channels and on agweb.com starting just before 8 o'clock Central Time. Now, people in Puerto Rico once again dealing with a lack of electricity after Hurricane Ernesto hit the island. The storm dumping heavy rain, now making its way to Bermuda. Officials say 3 major rivers flooded over their banks after more than a foot of rain fell. The island, known for having large plantations along with smaller family farms as well as livestock. Its agriculture secretary reporting there was damage caused by flooding in banana and plantain farms. Losses were also expected to coffee and vegetable crops. Meanwhile, chances for severe weather remains over the Midwest. Meteorologist Matt Engelbrecht joins us with more.
Yeah, we do have the chance of a few strong thunderstorms, severe thunderstorms working across the Midwest. The shape is what's pretty interesting. We got an upper level low and some boundaries attached to it. So that upper level low is going to be back up here towards the north into parts of Canada and then swooping down to the south and then back up to the northwest is where that boundary is going to be located. So it's no surprise that we're going to have some isolated, possibly severe thunderstorms along this area as we go into our Friday. Now on Saturday, as that upper level low moves to the east, so will the potential for some isolated thunderstorms as well. Now we're staying away from several severe storms, meaning the ingredients are there, but it's going to be rather widespread. And you can see the area is very widespread as well. It is worth noting, being upper level low, that is going to be stacked to the surface. Not only are you going to get some thunderstorms, but strong winds as well over a larger area, not associated with thunderstorms. So again, there's a severe weather risk for your Saturday. And an up-close look at wheat harvest in Kansas. Mark sharing this video of his 100 bushel per acre of wheat in central Kansas. Wow, looks like an awesome crop. I'll have more on your forecast coming up.
Deere & Company's stock rising on Thursday after the company reported better than expected earnings for the third quarter. The ag equipment manufacturer reporting earnings per share of $6.29 from equipment sales of $11.4 billion. But despite those positives, Deere's earnings and sales have declined compared to the previous year. It reported a drop of 17% in net sales and revenues and a 42% decline in net income over the third quarter of last year. Precision ag sales are down 25% from a year ago. For all of 2024, Deere is forecasting large ag sales in the U.S. and Canada to be down 15%. Higher interest rates are one reason farmers say they haven't been buying as much new ag equipment. And now a better than expected inflation report is fueling hopes the Federal Reserve will finally cut interest rates. As we told you yesterday, the Consumer Price Index, a key barometer of inflation, rose just 2.9% for the 12 months ending in July. That's the first time prices have gone up less than 3% in more than 3 years. But maybe the most important news for consumers, prices for groceries continue to grow at a slower rate.
You've got flat prices at the grocery store. Restaurants, you still see a little bit higher levels of inflation, but again, everything coming down.
According to USDA, from 2019 to 2023, the All-Food Consumer Price Index rose by 25%. Now, analysts believe the Federal Reserve could start cutting interest rates next month. But as farmers know, it's not just higher interest rates impacting their bottom lines right now. Declining farm income, lower crop prices, and higher production costs also factor in. And those issues are showing up in a new look at the credit conditions from the 10th Federal Reserve District. It shows ag credit conditions tightened in the second quarter of this year, especially in states like Kansas, Missouri, and Nebraska, while cattle prices provide some support. Economists report farm borrower liquidity declined and loan demand increased sharply. Repayment rates also fell, which indicate growing financial pressure on producers. Rural bankers are showing their concern about the ag economy, according to the latest Rural Main Street Index. The survey from Dr. Ernie Goss of Creighton University says the August index fell to 40.9 from 41.3 in July. That's the lowest reading since November of last year, and the 12th straight month the index has trended below growth neutral. Goss says weak agricultural prices, sinking agriculture equipment sales, and declining farm exports are driving the economy lower, adding that farm loan delinquency rates over the past 6 months have ticked up ever so slightly. The survey also showing farmland prices falling for the third time in the past 4 months. Well, it was a mixed day for commodity markets. The Dow saw some triple-digit gains. We'll talk about how those two markets are working together coming up next. And later, we're back to the Golden State, where grape growers are facing serious demand issues and import pressure this harvest season in the country.